Today's very quick video will be discussing the main principles of succeeding in real estate, based on the experienced investors we have dealt with. Whatever your strategy, most of these principles apply. We will go over them quickly because it is ultimately up to you and how determined you are to succeed. These principles may be something that you may roll your eyes at first because you hear it all the time and it seems like it's common sense. But how many of you actually follow through with them? Let's go over them now. Gain knowledge first. Of course, as you would expect to hear from anyone giving tips on success, read some books first to learn some basic terminology and concepts first. Books, especially by authors like Don Campbell, are well worth noting as his books talk about Canadian real estate specifically. Books by authors such as Robert Kiyosaki have some great content, but a lot of the content is only applicable to USA, so use it for the overall picture concepts and motivation. After reading books, however, go out and actually look at deals in the area that you would like to invest in, and analyze them. Set specific goals. The concept of setting goals has been proven to help investors, and everyone else, throughout history to get ahead further than they would have otherwise. If goals are not set, you are aimlessly kicking around with nothing to accomplish. Many people's goals are, I want to make lots of money, but how many of them have you actually heard of that accomplish that? On the other hand, when a person says, I want to own 3 single-family rental properties, each worth $300,000 in 10 years, that is specific enough to work towards. You will know if you are close to accomplishing that goal because you know exactly what you're trying to get. On top of that, you have a deadline, with your sense of urgency motivating and pushing you to get to work. Run the numbers. Based on that goal that you have set up earlier, work backwards to figure out exactly how much you will need. Let's continue with the previous example of buying the 3 homes over the next 10 years. First, we will calculate how much down payment, fees, and cash reserve you will need to have saved up in order to acquire those 3 properties. Let's say you want to have 33% saved up for each house so that your mortgage payments are lower, and this also accounts for the other costs. So that comes down to $100,000 per property. Don't forget that in Canada, your down payments from the main lenders will typically be at least 20% if you are not planning on living there. If you are planning on living there and you don't seem like a risk to them, you could get away with as low as 5% down payment, but there will be an insurance premium on top of your monthly payments. Now let's spread out acquiring the 3 properties over the 10 years that was part of our plan. This results in obtaining about 1 property approximately every 3 years on average. We're now able to figure out how much you have to put away every month to save up that amount. Since that means saving $33,000 every year, that comes down to putting away $2,750 every month. While that may seem like a large sum for many, which it is possible when you split it between you and your significant other, or your business partner. Develop a specific plan. Now that you know how much you need, figure out exactly how you will get that amount every month. The first and simplest thing you can do is develop a budget for yourself in your life. Look at your credit card and your debit card statements. Many things can be improved, such as eating out less. Make your own lunch at home instead. You will save up to literally a couple of $1,000s every year. Stop buying things you don't need. This is pretty self-explanatory. Cancel things you don't or should not need, such as cable TV. You will save money, and your time can be put towards better things. In addition, figure out what else you can do to generate additional income. Things like making online courses, or taking some odd jobs, etc. You will have to work smart and hard to achieve your goals if you really want them. Keep track. Now that you are on a course to putting away $2,750 every month, keep track of this by creating a spreadsheet. Make a column with the date, how much you put into that savings account, and a column that states the cumulative amounts that you are behind by, if at all. For reference, have a column beside that shows you how much you should have by that point. Go over it and update it every week. See the example below. Have patience. If you are doing real estate investing for the long run correctly, be prepared for it to be a long and boring process, not a get-rich-quick scheme like you may have seen and hoped for on HGTV, for example. Having patience is key because many of us are guilty of jumping from one brilliant idea to another when you get bored. If you don't have the patience and are expecting to get rich within a couple of years, this path is likely not for you. Persistence and daily habits. Building on to the previous point, patience and persistence often run hand in hand in real estate investing. You need to be patient when saving the money for your investments. And when you have enough, you need to be patient when looking for deals. You will have to persistently keep searching every day for good deals, but you cannot run out of patience when you don't find them within 2 weeks, throwing your hands up in the air and just choosing the next deal you see. If you grow impatient, or you don't keep searching every day, you will likely miss out on the good deals and end up with one that will cause you to lose money instead. Buy an agenda or use your online calendar to set up a time block every day to force yourself to search for deals and analyze them. Practice. Have a little reminder that tells you that it's normal not to find a good deal, possibly even after 2 months. Just keep going at it, and a good deal will make itself apparent sooner or later. Priorities. Putting money away weekly or monthly doesn't have to be the only thing you do while you save up to buy your next investment property. You should also be using that time to educate yourself, so that by the time you have enough capital saved up, you will be ready and you will minimize your chance of buying a bad investment. Ask yourself every day, are the actions I am taking throughout the day getting me closer to my goal? Watching the Super Bowl won't help you get closer to your goal of acquiring the 3 properties. Listening to real estate podcasts and attending real estate clubs will, however. Every night, when you plan the following day, list out the 5 most important things you want to get done and organize them in the order of importance. The most important ones are the ones that will help you get closer to your financial, health, and family goals. Get those done in that order first, and then proceed with the other minor things, like going to the beach or watching TV. Remove your emotions. As stated in some of our earlier videos, this is a business. You cannot let your emotions alter your judgment. It's a risk for your money and therefore potentially your family. When buying or selling, have a specific system set up in place, one that you can follow on paper every time that is repeatable. You want the numbers and facts to be making the decisions for you, not your emotions. Reserve fund. If the properties you have any positive cash flow after all expenses, put that money into an emergency account that is specific to your investments, in case something breaks down, which it will happen. Don't just excitedly pocket that money. You have to be prepared for these things that could happen, or you could end up losing your tenants and even losing the homes if the repair ends up having to be so expensive that you are unable to afford it. Don't be a lone wolf. As you invest in more homes, build your team. Despite what you think, as you take over more investments, you will get further when you have a team set up, who are all real estate investment oriented. Although you will have higher expenses since you have to pay them, you will have more time to find more investments, meaning that your income increases as well. For example, some important team members are an accountant that will help you save more money, A lawyer that will help you prevent legal issues and write up any legal documents. An experienced property management company that takes over all the hands-on management for you. If you could connect them with your lawyer and accountant, you have even more time on your hands now. There are a lot more types of people you can have in your team, but the above will help you get started growing a larger portfolio. A common question we get is, what's the best investing strategy? Keep in mind that most investors regret selling many of their real estate investments. They may have sold it before because they were flipping or they just wanted to cash out. But after running the numbers years down the road to see how well it would have done for them if they held it to this day, they determined that they would have been better off if they kept their investments. Not only would their equity have grown substantially in the homes, but the properties would appreciate quite a bit on average. For those of you wondering, what strategy is best for you? It's hard for us to say without knowing you and, for example, your risk tolerance. However, generally speaking, with the investors we've spoken to and we've read about, investors are in it for the long run, become the wealthiest with the buy and hold strategy.
If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. We're here to help because we specialize in this. If you don't have any time to invest, call us anyway. Maybe we can figure out a plan that works for your schedule so that your money is working hard for you. Also, don't forget that we're partnered with a professional real estate management company that will take over all the heavy lifting for you at a discounted amount if you buy or sell through us. Visit us at Strategicinvestments.ca. Don't procrastinate, don't wait till tomorrow, contact us now.